stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a Pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dum Yinzers. Yes, it is. This is episode 880. That's right, 880 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Good morning, depending where you may be. Welcome back to the show, guys. 880, here it is. This is New Year's Eve. We're less than 12 hours away from 2026. Believe it or not, guys, here we are. It just felt like, come on, it just felt like the playoffs and the Ravens beating us last year. And we had to wait all off season. Here we are, guys. It comes down to this. It comes down to this weekend, but we do have New Year's first. So we're gonna go with a little bit of a relaxed approach today. We're going to talk some Steelers. I'm also going to give you my top moments of the year 2025 here on the show. This all comes later on today, guys, on this New Year's Eve installment of the show. Welcome back. Glad to see everybody today. Hope everybody's doing well and hope everybody has a, I don't know, at our age, at my age at least, it isn't the same as it used to be. I'll probably be in bed by 10 o'clock tonight, but that's all right, guys. Let's get on the board, see how everybody's doing today. Good morning, good afternoon to Tyrone, my man. How you doing, sir? Always great seeing the great Tyrone on the terrible board. That's right. Not the good, but the great Tyrone, my man. Cody, good morning to you, sir. Always great seeing Cody. Always great seeing Cody. You know what? It's the last day of the year, and I got to be honest with you. I'm excited to see every single one of you. It's the last time we'll see each other this year. However, we will be back on Friday to get ready for the Ravens game. A lot of stuff to get into, guys, as it's a win and move on. Win and move on, guys. Loser goes home. Playoffs start this weekend, technically. Basically. So, guys, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. Let me get back to the board. Richard, happy New Year's Eve, my friend. Always great seeing Richard on the terrible board. I hope you are ready to have a great New Year, sir. I hope the year went well for you. I do want to say it was great having everybody around, and it was a good year. Really, it was the best year for this show. I do want to say, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you so much. Steeler Freak says this. John says the podcast is rigged. It's rigged, baby. That's right. Cody says rigged. John says, like the NFL, the outcome is predetermined. That's true. The outcome is predetermined. That is 100% true. But sometimes you might remember from a few of my top 5 moments from this year when it wasn't. The outcome wasn't predetermined. We'll get to that in a lot more today. Tyrone, we finna. You know what? I agree. I think we are going to beat the Ratbirds. I think I do. I do. I truly, honestly do. Cody says the plot is predetermined. What are you smoking on this morning? John and Terry Bongshaw at it early on this New Year's Eve morning. Glad to see it. Lindsay, how are you, ma'am? I hope everything is well for you. I hope you and your family and people are ready for some New Year's Eve tonight. I don't know. Again, to the extent of what people even do anymore, I don't know, because I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. A far cry from back in the day, but you know what? Here we are. This is what it is. But I hope everybody has a great, safe holiday, if you will. Armac, always great seeing the great Armac on the board, and that's right. Also, I do mean great when I say Armac. The board is great. It really is great, guys. And I truly do believe this. Also, this Armac says, "Who's Cody? Who's Cody?" Tortilla. Well, yeah, exactly. That's one of it. Could be. I'm not giving anything away just yet. I'm not giving anything just away just yet, but I will give you my top 5 moments. And my top 5 moments of 2025 are going to be coined the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because there is some good, there's some bad, and there is some ugly. Of course, we are going to get to that and so much more today. I am going to figure out why I got things making noises, and then I'm going to continue on. Tyrone says Flowers won't do shit on 24. Believe that. I do want to say a couple things before I get this started, though, guys. The finalists for the Hall of Fame, I'm sure everybody saw this, and I'm sure everybody is aware, but we had one guy that was still in the running, Hines Ward, of course, and he did not make the final cut, guys. He, at this moment, he had been cut off. We're going to go over the list later on today of the finalists for the Hall of Fame. Maybe throw up your thoughts on who just might be, who it might be that gets into the Hall this year. We'll throw all that up on the board today. So much stuff to get into on this New Year's Eve, guys. Again, it's going to be pretty relaxed in a sense. Throw comments up all day on the board. Again, we're going to do this. It's going to be fun. And I do want to do a couple things here. I'm setting up. You can see I'm still setting up. So let me go right here. I'm going to. Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss? I think I missed somebody. Hold on. Let me go back and find them. Let me go back and find it. I don't want to miss anybody. Not on New Year's Eve, especially. Right here. Where'd it go? There it is. Tater, the terrible Tater. The terrible Tater. He says this. That's right. Every time the terrible Tater speaks today, we are going to hear a fart sound because he is a Browns fan. And you know what? I wouldn't expect anything different, guys. So today, every time Tater leaves a comment on the board and I read it, it'll be this instead of his message. That's just going to be the way that it is, everybody. Let's move on. Steeler Freak says, Cody, a joke for Ryan. You weren't the target. Never will be. Cody says, Happy New Year's, Tainter. Also, the Tainter. Let's see. Facts, Ryan. Tyrone, my man. Hines Ward snubbed again. Yes, Armac, he was snubbed again. Hines Ward is not going to the Hall of Fame. 10 years in a row. He did, in fact, make the list, but he had not advanced this past this round. However, and I know that some of you guys on the board aren't actually from Pittsburgh, but you may still respect the fact that Larry Fitzgerald, who was a Pitt graduate, is advancing to the finals. Unfortunately, Hines not, but yes, Larry Fitzgerald, another guy from Pitt, keeping them ranked high in the teams of college teams that do have people in the Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, one of the best, to be honest with you. Also in the senior circuit, the three people that have a chance to get into the Hall of Fame still in the senior circuit, it's down to 3. Ken Anderson, of course, Roger Craig, the running back from San Francisco, and L.C. Greenwood, the great from the great Steeler defense. He also is still in it. So those 3 people are still in it for the seniors circuit. And we'll go again later on. We'll put the whole list of people that are still in it. But also Bill Belichick is in it. he has a chance to get in the Hall of Fame for coaching, and Robert Kraft for whatever it is that he does, I guess owner, GM, whatever it may be. So those are the things that are going on besides the main players. Again, we'll pull up that list here in a little bit. I don't want to get behind today on New Year's Eve. Let me keep up on the board. Good morning, everybody. Tyrone Tortilla. No, you know what? I'm off. Here we go. Excuse me. Tortilla, the year Ward gets in will be the year we finally win a playoff game. And I got some interesting news about that statement as well. Get into that here shortly. So much more, guys. So much to get into today. There truly, honestly is. And also, yeah, all right, let's get into it. What do you think, huh? Lamar Jackson is expected to play Sunday. I like this. I might be one of the only people, just topically, that likes this. When you really peel back the layers, you see that it might play to our advantage. Again, he's been dealing with major back issues for the past month or so. Had to take the game off last week. A must-win game, mind you. Keep that in the back of your mind. It was a must-year game, a must-win game, and he didn't play, so he's hurt. I would rather see him as well. Again, just not as mobile as he used to be, not as electric as he used to be. And the guy, again, we've seen him a month ago, and again, wasn't super impressed. It's going to be Derrick Henry all day, possibly up to 40 carries. I could see this happening. Somebody wrote in a article, possibly 40 carries we could see. But you know what? We know it's coming. We got a lot of things to get into, guys, about this game. Let's take a look around. A few things that I do want to get into before we start. Some things going on within the personnel of our team. Yesterday, they did say Darnell Washington was out for the season. Of course, he did break his arm in the game last week. This was said also. If the Steelers don't put him on the IR by 4 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, they think that there might be a possibility he could return in the playoffs. Not from my mouth directly, but if they don't put him on IR by Saturday at 4, Darnell Washington will continue to stay on the active roster, and again will be eligible for the playoffs. So that's just kind of an interesting thing to see what the Steelers do with D-Wash in the next couple of days to kind of give you an idea of what they're thinking, what the mindset is, the collective mindset of the Steelers is at the moment. Again, 4 o'clock on Saturday, we will know what's up with D-Wash. Also, as was stated yesterday on the Mike Tomlin press conference, and did run across the board while we were on the show here on live, Mike Tomlin has said he's very optimistic about TJ Watt. TJ Watt, again, they'd said last week that he must participate in a full week of practice, but however that's playing out, I don't know with this week in the holiday and how everything's playing out with their schedule, but Coach T did say that he's optimistic about TJ amongst many other players that are getting healthy coming into this game. Some might say we have our backs against the wall. I think we do. You don't have your receiver. You don't got many other targets throughout the season. I mean, you put their numbers together, it's pretty minuscule. Derrick Henry, the whole thing. But I think we win this football game. And yes, Estat, and the reason I put it like that, because we are in the playoffs. And I know where you're going to the D-Wash comment. However, we are in the playoffs right now. You win, you continue to move on. You lose, you go home. That's just the way that's the way I got to look at it right now. What else we get to get into here? The Steelers, they host 6 players for tryouts on Tuesday. These were mostly defensive backs. Defensive back Zy Alexander, DB Evan Holm, DB Makari Page, DB Danico Slaughter, DB JT Woods, and fullback / tight end Jaheim Bell, all in for tryouts for the Steelers on Tuesday. So, I mean, they're not sitting on their hands. They're working and still trying to improve things. I do believe it. I believe it. But who knows if we'll see the fruit of it. But again, guys, heading into week 18, this huge, couldn't be bigger matchup in the NFL. The battle for the AFC North. The title will be won on Sunday evening as the game kicks off at 8:20 on the North Shore as the 8-8 Baltimore Ravens make the trek over to Pittsburgh to take on the 9-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 5.5-point home dogs in this game. That's all right with me. We tend to play better when we are the dogs. For whatever reason, I don't know what's up with Pittsburgh football teams. Any high-profile games anymore. We seem to struggle. Pitt, Steelers, everybody. It just is what it is right now. But guys, We're due for a primetime game that isn't a Monday night home game, aren't we? We're due to win one of those games. What else do we got here? Lamar Jackson, again, he is expected to play. He's practicing today. Lamar Jackson. So if you're wondering what's going on with that, that is your up-to-the-date information. Lamar Jackson is practicing today, guys, and they do expect him to play on Sunday, which, again, is not, in my opinion, the worst thing in the world. As a matter of fact, I'm not afraid of Huntley by any means, but again, I just think that Lamar is he's a beaten, battered man. And again, did he kill us last time we played him? Far from it. Far from it. And I know that he's been hurt more in the meantime. So again, we will take advantage of that. I'm not worried about Lamar. Tyrone says we're not worried about Lamar. A lot of things, guys, heading into this weekend. Let me just double check, make sure I don't have anything else. I do want to. I'll get to this. I don't know. You know what? But I'm not afraid of his arm either, Mac. I'm just not. I was never afraid of his arm. As a matter of fact, the only reason I've ever been afraid of Lamar were his youthful, healthy legs. And take the two adjectives out of it, and that's what you have with Lamar until they prove me otherwise. Again, we won 9 of the last 11. 9 in the last 11 over this team that we're facing. So again, don't get too intimidated by them. There's no reason to ever be intimidated by the Ravens. We are the original OGs. We are. They built their whole organization to be like us. And if the Browns and the Bengals were smart, they would do it too. There's no shame. No shame in anything like that. What else do we got, guys? Again, New Year's Eve. The New Year's Eve installment of the show, episode 880. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody on the board. Let me get back on the board before I get too far behind. I'm going to go right here. Yeah, right there. Vamp Life. Armac is saying Vamp Life on the board. Armac also says the Pittsburgh Vampires. Lindsay's in the house. Also, Tortilla says Ryan got a vamp stamp. S-Dad, hey, brother, what's up, dude? Always great seeing S-Dad on the terrible board, my man. Hope you're ready for the New Year's Eve. And I don't even know what that means at our age, at my age at least. I don't even know what that means anymore. People say have a nice New Year's. Maybe that means good luck staying up till midnight. I don't know. Mark Malone, what up, bro? Mark Malone says, wasn't Kraft the original masseuse connoisseur? He was one of them. John says they put Harmon in a cage yesterday with gunpowder and red meat dye. You know what? Harmon got snubbed. That's another topic that I did have. Derek Harmon did get snubbed from the all-rookie team. I don't know, whatever. Lindsay says, still don't know about this team. I know. And that's the thing, Dad. I mean, I agree. Point taken. But I do think we can win Sunday. I do think that we can win Sunday. Tyrone says, TJ motherfucking Watt, baby. That's right. TJ Watt expected to play this week. Tortilla, when I'm sober, I have no hope. But after a few beers, I think we could win by a field goal. That's Steeler Nation in a nutshell right now, I think. Boom, like Tomlin Cody is saying. S-Dad says Muth and Calvin Austin III will be. They need to be our saviors. We literally have no other options. We have no other choices. You know, sure as hell ain't going to be Roman Wilson. Lindsay says, I don't want me to lie. Armax says, I expect great effort from Gainwell and Warren. Both held to a minimal amount of rushing air, both in the teens. Last matchup against the Ravens. But again, it was we went out and passed the ball a lot. We knew that their secondary was weak, and we attacked it. And again, DK Metcalf did have the biggest game of his career in Baltimore just a month ago. Tyrone says, feed Muth, Gainwell, Warren, Calvin Austin III, Adam Thielen. S-Dad said, I was just channeling my Jim Moore. I totally get that. You know what? I heard it when you texted it. Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? Cody says, fuckers gotta go. I think that's what that says. A flacca. Tortilla saying, Steeler freak. Funny, very funny. Tyrone, we ain't worried about no Lamar. I'm not worried about Lamar. I was worried about him early in his career. Now I'm just not. I'm not. He's flat line. I mean, he's evened out. He's again just not the same player he was early on. Armac says means more passing for Lamar. Stats, his Gainwell has been the Steelers MVP this season. And you know what? In the big picture, he has. But when you compare it to guys on other teams that carry other teams, it's nothing great. It's been great for us, and he's done a lot of good things and certainly exceeded his expectations. Kenneth Gainwell, I'm talking. But look at other teams and look at their weapons, and it just kind of shows you where we're at right now. And other teams have, their big playmakers have done twice is what he's did, and just put that into consideration. You know what I mean? Tyrone says stop 22, make it, and again, they're probably going to run it out 40 times. I wouldn't be surprised, just because they know that our defense is susceptible. Even though we did hold him to 97 yards last month, and we did face them, they do know that we do have a weakness, and just keep punching us in the mouth. We might just fall. That's going to be their game plan. I do believe. I think that's all they have. Cody says, Tortilla, are you saying that sober, she's a solid 3, but after a few beers, she's a 10? I think that's exactly where Tortilla is going with that. Tortilla says this, the only arms I'm afraid of are Cody's arms. Somber salutes, brother. Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. Hope everybody's doing well. Ready for this New Year's Eve, I guess. New Year's night, the ball dropping, some may call it. Mikey's just behind the veil, as far as I know, unless he's jagging around and doing things he's not supposed to. He should hear every word that's said. Lindsay said everyone is on today. It is great to see everyone today. It really is. I'm glad to see everyone on this New Year's Eve. S-Dad says trying to stay up past midnight. That's the goal. That's the goal. But we'll see. S-Dad, Harmon is a beast, yes, and he did get snubbed from the all-rookie team. I think this is bullshit, but be what it be. Tortilla says New Year's. What do you mean? The ball dropped in Pittsburgh last week. Ooh, see, Tortilla, that's a game ball. That is a game ball comment. I have to mark that one off because you know what? I don't know if anybody's going to be able to beat that. Let's see who we have on the board here. Next, we do have the Terrible Tater. Terrible Tater says this. Always loving the comments from the Terrible Tot. Terrible Tot still coming to hang out. You know what? We accept the Tot. My man, hope you're ready for New Year's too. I don't know how you do things in Cleveland. I'm sure it's not like the normal people, but I hope New Year's goes well for you as well. Maybe mom will let him stay up past bedtime. That's the goal, I think, for the Tot. Let's see right here. Armac, my man Armac says this. Good to know. Thanks for the reliable journalism, sir. Steeler Freak says, tell Mike if he comes back, I will pay for Derpy's Gothic tramp stamp tattoo with his name on it. He might be into that. He might be into that. Tortilla says we're signing Mariota and drafting Moore from Oregon and trading Rudolph to the Dodgers. Armax has got to trade for Mac Jones. A lot of people are saying that lately. A lot of people keep saying that. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing. I don't know that I know the value of Mac Jones. I know that it didn't work out on the team he got drafted by. I know that he's backing up now. But again, it's worth looking into. I will look into that over the next day and find out why all the talk about Mac Jones. Maybe this is the move. Steeler Freak says 70-71, which is Tortilla, rare form today. I almost dropped the Terry Bong show. You know what? That's game ball too, and that's coming off of Tortilla's comment. A lot of game ball comments today. Tyrone Ryan has begun. The war has begun. I got 3 Ravens fans that are on my front. Ay. That's got to be rough. Armax says, Ryan, what wide receiver do you think will get the most reception? Armac, that's a really good question. Because when DK Metcalf was in the lineup, it wasn't even guaranteed that he was going to get the majority of the catches being the number one wide receiver. So that's a very tricky question. Which wide receiver? It's probably not going to be Roman Wilson. Maybe who's left? Scotty Miller, Juan Valdez-Scantling, Adam Thielen. Again, DK put us in a position, guys. A position we thought we were getting out of when we traded away George Pickens. Do what you want with that. All right, let's go. Let's move on. Right here. Tyrone says, I told everybody whoever's 24 on, don't. You know what? People think we're talking shit when we say that, but I got to be honest with you. Who dude hasn't let up a touchdown yet. That's all I got to say. That's all I will continue to say until the man gives up a touchdown. As Dad says, like the Lions game, I think we will witness a miracle. I think we're going to win. I do think we're going to win this football game. I think when we're not being sporadic and crazy and random and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, we can put together decent football games. Baltimore, that defense, it's just not good. We don't play good sometimes on defense. Their defense just is not good. There's a difference. Lindsay says this. Ryan just won't stop. Damn. Also, RMAX says, which Ryan? Lindsay Cody. In my state, we pronounce it Mike Jones. And I also do have something for you. Cody, but I'm going to hold up. Let's go to this. Cody says this. He says, Todd, I thought it was Taint. The Terrible Taint. That's a good name. I like that. Armax says, if me, I've always used vampire emojis. Mark Malone, is Derpy still on vacation from the back? Nobody knows. With Hollywood Derpy, you never know what the hell he's up to. The guy's a diva. You wouldn't believe what goes on with this Derpy. I got to be honest with you. Hey, yeah, it makes me earn my money. That's all I got to say. We'll continue on the board here. Adam T. That's who ties thing. You know what? I don't know. Possibly at one point in his career. I don't know. There's some things about him as well. He's a veteran. Yeah, he's always had a sure hand, but there's just been some things I've seen about him. I'm not blown away. We don't have playmakers. Man, a wide receiver 2 would certainly help a situation like that, but whatever. RMAX says, Lindsay, I'm being honest. Also, Tortilla says, but you'll never beat Mr. Tomlin. Cody says, number 24 is the GOAT, Kobe Bryant. I'm glad we are not favored. Me too. I hate being favored. As a Pittsburgh football team, I hate it. Nothing I hate more. Tortilla says JPJ would lock up Kobe at Tyrone. Let's see. Tortilla says this. Derpy is in a DUI class right now, even though he has never been arrested for drunk driving. It's possible. Tyrone says JBJ can guard whoever, whenever, anytime, Chase, Jettas, Flowers, whatever. And I've seen very little to dispute that. Armax says, don't respect Kobe like that, Tyrone. Cody says, Derpy is a diva. I can see. I think he's a diva, believe me, man. He's his own category. He really is. He really is. What else? What else are we going to get into today? A lot of things. We really do have a lot of things, guys. Let me just say one thing. Because you guys were right, and you guys, I asked you to be right. Yesterday during the question, that pass that was intercepted by Rod Woodson, the Vinny Testaverde pass, was the very first pass against the Steelers. It was the second game of the year. I forget who was able to get that information. I think it was Bingo, as a matter of fact. But the very first pass ever by the Ravens against the Steelers was an interception. It was the second game of the year, the first away game for the Ravens. It was back in 1996. They won their very first game at home against the Raiders, but the very first away game was their first game against the Steelers. Very first pass was a pick six to Rod Woodson from Vinny Testaverde. I had to go back and look at the details just to be sure for myself last night. But very first pass play ever between the two teams that are playing this coming weekend for a playoff spot was, in fact, a pick six way of Rod Woodson against Vinny Testaverde. Let me stay back on the board here. The board says, Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Always great seeing the great Johnny on the terrible board. Johnny says this, Mississippi in the house again. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, Steeler Nation. Great to see you and welcome from Mississippi. Great to have you. Steeler Freak says this, MJ has an elite RB, great offensive line, great OC, head coach, decent wide receivers, and a great D. The Steelers can't replicate that in 1 year. Tortilla says, nah, but those backup quarterbacks who sit in Shanahan's office seem to ball out. You know what? There's a lot of things that I have we're going to talk about today that is connected to what you guys are saying on the board. I think you're going to like today's show. A lot of important, interesting information that's going to go out today. Lindsay says, I'm done at 2:30. Cannot wait. That's awesome. I can't wait to get your vacation, whatever it would be. A couple days off, day off, get that started for you. That's always one of the best moments. The moments leading into it is always the best moments because once it starts, you know you're on the clock and it's already going to be time to get back already. But heading into time off, in my opinion, is the best time of the ever. Knowing that, all right, in an hour from now, I got time off. That works for me. Tyrone, he says, Lindsay, I just got call. You stay until 7 tonight. All right, here we go, guys. Some things we're going to talk about today. We're also all right. Let's get into it. I got to be honest with you. We got a lot of good things today. I don't think we're going to do 2 full hours, but we're going to stick around. We're going to do some get into some interesting stuff. We truly are, guys. Let's start with this. The Pittsburgh Steelers, if they win on Sunday, get this, they'll be the first team in 2 decades to make the playoffs in 3 straight years with 3 different starting quarterbacks. Think about it, guys. If the Steelers make the playoffs, 23, they made it with Kenny Pickett as their starter. 24, they made it with Russell Wilson as their starter. 25, will make it with Aaron Rodgers if they in fact win. The last time this happened, 1999, Trent Dilfer, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2000, Sean King started that season, took them to the playoffs. Buccaneers. In the following year, Brad Johnson, who eventually went on to win the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, 3rd year in a row, 3 straight teams led by different starting quarterbacks goes to the playoffs 3 consecutive years. So again, just some more interesting Steeler statistics. It's going to be there forever. But you know what? We tend to do that a lot of time. We'll put interesting stats in the book. I want to see more Super Bowls. I don't care about interesting stats, but as we wait, the interesting stats are neat. But again, if the Steelers do win, they'll be the first team in over 2 decades to make the playoffs with 3 straight seasons with 3 different starting quarterbacks. Kind of an interesting thing. Let me jump back on the board. Let's see if anybody has comments on that, and then we will continue on. Again, I don't want to miss anybody today. New Year's, we're heading into 2026, guys. 2026. There was a time I didn't even think this was a real year. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I thought, geez, oh man, 2026. What the hell is the world going to be like then? Yeah, if I would have only known, right? Let's go down right here. Tyrone. Lindsay said, absolutely not. There's no way. There's nothing that could keep her there till 7 o'clock. Tortilla says, Tyrone, I just got a call. You forgot your hoodie at Juan Valdez-Scantling's house. Tyrone, come on, man. Tyrone says, that'd be Ryan. He was sold on him. Who was that? Tyrone says, I told Mike Williams. I told bro Mike Williams asked. Yeah, man. Mike Williams was. It's about what the MVS signing is so far. He got that touchdown, didn't he? I think, yeah, MVS got a touchdown. Mike Williams got the touchdown early in his tenure here. The game winner against Washington last year. Very similar between the 2 receivers. Armax said, I said yesterday I was wrong on the MVS. Also, Cody making history. Lindsay says, BS Tyrone, yes, you were. Tortilla, you want me to tell him he can keep it? You want me to tell him he could keep it? Tyrone says, I said he ain't gay. LOL. Armax says he helped San Francisco win a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Armac then corrects himself. He says, I mean the Chiefs. Cody says MVS sucks ass. Armac says Tyrone deflecting to me. Tortilla like a mad ex-girlfriend. Lindsay says literally, and he does suck. Sommer says no flying car. But you know what? I think we're as close as we ever were to flying cars. And I'm not even surprised. I'm not even going to say we don't have them. We may. There's a lot of shit that they have that the people, what would we call them? The I don't know, the people that are in the in crowd, the people that the powerful people, I guess. Who knows what they got? There's no way they have the same technologies and shit that we have. I'm just saying, who knows what the hell they have? They may have flying cars, and we're just reporting them as UFOs because we don't know any better. Cody says this: MVS has JPJ hands with Kyle Duggar route running ability. Ay. Armac, 1 touchdown for Russ from Russ. Mike Tortilla says Mike Williams was better. Van Jefferson Armac says Tortilla says Mike Williams was straight. Take it easy, guys. Armac Somber says they've taken over the chat. Taking it over, baby. Lindsay says something wrong with us. Steeler Freak says this. I was wrong about Jonnu Smith. I thought he could pull number 2 targets. He played much better in Miami. What went wrong? There's not been a single time that I've been thrilled with him. You know, he had a touchdown or 2 during the season, and I was excited when it happened. But he's been the most Eric Ebron. He's been the most Eric Ebron tight end I've seen in quite some time. We were expecting playmaker. We got Matt Spaeth, basically. Cody says this. Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? Tortilla cars are like time machines. If you think about it, they are. And so is sleep. You close your eyes and you wake up and you're in the future. You get in the car, you drive somewhere, you're in a different destination in the future. Very, very similar to time machines. Tortilla. I thought this one through many times. Cody says, salute me and shoot me volume 3. Flying cars have been tested for women drivers, safety first. Steeler Freak says, and the smelling salts Armac says to Cody. What else do we got, guys? I spoke about this earlier. We talked about, somebody asked me what the who's going to get the most receptions, who's going to lead the way as far as receivers goes. And I kind of tongue-in-cheek said that it's not going to be Roman. This was said by Ray Fittipaldo. This is a person that I do respect here in Pittsburgh media. Ray Fittipaldo did say this about Roman Wilson. He doesn't think the QBs trust him. He just don't think and I guess when he says the QBs, he means Aaron Rodgers. Well, let me ask you, what do you think? And let's say that's the case. And even if it is the case, you don't stop not giving the guy a football. He's a player on your team, right? And what part of Roman Wilson's play do you remember seeing where you thought, oh, let's not get him the ball ever again? He only catches damn near everything that's thrown to him. He's small. It's hard for him to get separation. I understand, but it's better than having nothing, right? So again, Ray Fittipaldo, he's reported in one of his articles, he just don't think that the quarterback trusts him, and I don't know what that means, and I don't like it. Certainly moving forward, Tortilla says Roman Wilson is a hologram. He doesn't even exist. He's like the Tupac hologram. Let's see. Cody, I love smelling salts. Did they come in? Tortilla says Sky Donuts. Armac says, what do you expect from DBs covering fly? I think our DBs are going to be fine. They didn't kill us last time, and again, I don't think they're going to kill us this time. If it comes down to if we stop Henry and have to make Lamar beat us with his arm, I'm okay with that game plan. But we have to stop Henry. Otherwise, it's all effed up because it keeps things unbalanced. But if we do stop the run consistently, which is not an easy thing to do against this guy, but again, 97 last time, 97 yards is what he had against us last time we faced him in Baltimore. This time on the road, I like our chances. Again, not greatly, but I do like our chances. We're not going to go and whoop this team's ass by any means. It's going to be a Ravens-Steeler game, but I think that we are a team that will be on top when it's all said and done. Tyrone says this is A-Rod's last game. Maybe you think you find ain't finna go stupid. You know what? That's a good point. It's hard to expect what the hell's going to happen this week, especially with the NFL just being the way that it is anymore. It's again, It's been odd year. Kenneth, well, what's up, brother? Always great seeing the great Kenneth on the board, my man. I hope everything is well for you, and I hope you're ready for the new year. Again, we are here, guys, in the last 12 hours of 2025. I would not rather spend it with anybody other than who I'm spending with right now. Mark Malone says this. I still think Roman is sending dick pics to Tomlin and Rogers' wives. It has to be, right? I've never seen anybody treated. I mean, what has he done? What's going on? What's going on with this team and these receivers? Somber says the Steelers have placed Darnell Washington on IR. Other moves. He does have some other moves here. He's saying that offensive line Jack Driscoll signed to the practice squad and Jaheim Bell. They did sign Jaheim, because I do know he was on the list of people that did come in yesterday for tryouts. 5 DBs, and then also Jaheim Bell, the offensive tight end / fullback. So Somber is saying that those guys are brought into the practice squad. Roman said he does catch better than MVS. I just think it's his size. I truly think that it's Roman's size, unfortunately, for him. It's hard when you're small like that. You got, that's one strike against you when you're trying to get separation. Because a guy that's rangier, it's a little bit less difficult to cover you. If you got great speed, that's a huge advantage. But again, if you're mixing it up and the guy has size over you, now you have to try to battle that guy for the ball and everything else. So, Roman GPT, where's Finch? I believe Finch is working today. They had him in because of the holiday today. He had to go in, unfortunately. Friday will be Picks Day, though. I do want to say that, guys, will be on Friday to get ready for the Ravens, and also we're going to get them picks in because there's no games tomorrow. No NFL games tomorrow on New Year's Day, so we're moving Picks Day back to Friday. So Finch will be here then. Armax is likely is Crafty. He is. But he's also susceptible to effing up. How many times is he the toe on the line in the first game of the year? The drop in the end zone against us last time. There was another one. There was another big play. I can't think off the top of my head what it was. But likely a lot of time is not bloody likely. Steeler Freak says Roman Wilson was caught sleeping with Rogers' imaginary wife. No trust. Yeah, we ever gonna see that lady? I don't know. I don't know if we are. Steeler, sorry. Tyrone says inner crib 2. Cody says this we can't cover title. When is that ever going to change, right, Cody? It's only been that way since my whole life. Why? And I'm not just blaming this coaching staff. I'm blaming every coaching staff ever for the history of the Steelers. And you know what? I'm watching a game the other day, and somebody was doing it really well. And I can't think of who it was. And I thought, wow, why can't we cover a tight end like that? Why? Lindsay says it's hard to sweep a team. It is. It's very hard to sweep a team in the NFC, especially a team that knows you as well as the teams in this division do. Notice, guys, we split with the Browns. We split with the Bengals. We're up 1-0, 1-0 on the Ravens. So again, just something to keep in the back of our minds. Where the DK jersey? Where the DK jerseys? What Armac is saying on the board. Tyrone, we've actually been good last few games. Cody. Hey, and anybody else go into the last week's game against the Browns thinking about that damn snow globe game last year? That was the only thing that kept crossing my mind, and it's just wild that we did lose in a weird, close, odd kind of way there at the end. Very similar to last year's snow globe game. I thought that we was going to beat the Browns, but I wasn't surprised that we didn't beat the Browns at the end of the day. But good point made. It is very difficult too, especially in the AFC North. I believe something came on my microphone. Still continue to mess around. Let me know. Let me know if you can still hear me, guys. Okay, Tortilla. Let me. All right. Is my microphone still messed up? Let me know if you can hear me right now. Tortilla, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. You can't hear me. Shit. Let me know now. Can you? Okay. You can hear me now, Tyler. All right. I'm going to continue talking. Let me know if you can't hear me. I will see it on the board. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, Ty. I appreciate you. Richard, Lindsay. They're trolling me. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. No, thank you, guys. All right. Let's get back on the board. Ravens defense is bums. All right. I'm going to go right here. Tortilla says, yeah, that's why we signed MVS. So all the coaches' wives are safe. Steeler Freak says the Ravens don't have the pass rush or the DBs like the Browns. You're right. The Browns defense, and we made a point to say that the Browns defense was really good. It's the number one pass defense in the league. You can't be discouraged. Yes, in the playoffs, you will face the Texans that has a defense just like that. Yes, you will face the Chargers, who we did see, a couple weeks ago. A few weeks back that we took that loss because of their defense. Their defense dominated us. So, the defense for the Cleveland Browns was the big difference. It was the difference maker in that game. Again, Baltimore don't have that defense. They got a stifling running game, and again, that's the goal. Stop Derrick Henry if you want to win this football game this week. Steeler Freak says the Ravens don't have the pass rush or DBs like the Browns. Ravens shouldn't have the happy feet, or Rodgers shouldn't have the happy feet. Tyrone says he will have more time to throw and get guys open. Where is our pressure? Why doesn't the pocket ever collapse on the team that we're playing like it collapses on us? I mean, Harmon's playing good. Cam's been playing well. Why can't we just collapse a pocket? Why? Why does it seem like when we send 7 guys against 5 blockers, it all just comes to like we run into a wall? Teams will send 4 guys against our 5 blockers in our line. And listen, I'm not saying our line's bad. It's just something that's been going on for the past 10 years. It's hard for our defensive line to collapse a pocket. And that goes a long way, guys. You got to be able to get pressure to help your secondary. And that's kind of been something. Again, I thought Harmon looks good. And Benton's up and down. But Cam's been playing well as well. Let's move on. I'm going to go right here. Tyrone says Ravens defense is bums. I agree. Not bloody likely. Cody says Tortilla, more time to throw to the sidelines. RMax says, Cody, you think you're funny, huh? I'm a funny guy. Cody says, John says Human Resources has Finch taking a sensitivity course after his Christmas party meltdown. Maybe. Either that or just trying to convince him to keep his clothes on at work. And that could be scary. Tyrone says we could run the ball. And again, I don't know why we didn't last time. Again, only in the teens for both of our running backs. But again, DK had the big day. I think that we went in planning to pass the ball. I think it's going to be somewhat of a different game plan this time around. But again, you got to remember, guys, we were up on these Ravens. They ended up scoring later in the game to make the game look like it did. The final, what was it, 28-23. I just think that stopping Derrick Henry's big. It's going to be tough, but that's the way we beat him last time, and I think that's the way we beat him this time. Cody says Kyle Duggar got smoked by the Browns rookie tight end on the worst pass throw in history. I'm not comfortable with that. If he didn't have an interception and maybe a couple other big plays earlier on this year, I wouldn't be too sold on him. But you know what? It was what it was. Tortilla, something. There you go. The microphone. Johnny says fire the whole coaching staff except for my guy Dennis Smith. All right. Mark Malone says, yeah, the jizz must have ran off my microphone. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that help. Also, Bingo says, can hear you fine the whole fucking time. TJ will be back at it. You know what I mean? Boy, it would be nice to see him make a big game-winning play, wouldn't it? After everything that we've kind of been through with this team lately, and TJ and just a controversy about his production this year, and then he gets this bizarre injury. Wouldn't it be nice to see him create one of his game-wrecking, game-winning plays at the end of this game to carry us into the next round? I think that would be fantastic. Cody says $40 million man is on the side. It's a lot of money invested in one guy that's not playing. Again, I'm not bad mouthing, and I'm not singing the praises. I'm just saying that's a lot of money to have sitting on a sideline, guys. It really is. Tyrone, not anymore, and that wasn't his fault. Crack baby. When Bingo says this, no double teams with Wheezy out, and the dudes are either old as fuck or timid rookies. And Tortilla says this: when Mike comes back, he will be Vanilla the White. Vanilla the White. All right. $25 million this year is what Mark Malone is saying. Nonetheless, a lot of money. That's a lot of money standing on the sideline in situations that you pay these guys to be in. That's why you give these guys the big money, so they can be productive in these big games to help the team do better things. So again, I would love to see nothing more, as Tyrone is saying on the board here. He will be fine. 90 is back. I hope you're right. Boy, wouldn't you just love to see one of them punch outs in the fourth quarter? A tackle, a fumble, forced fumble, something by TJ. Again, it is only week 18. Wouldn't hate to see that this coming week, guys. The last week of the NFL regular season. Unbelievable to me it is. Let's see what else I do got here. I got a lot of things we're going to talk about today, guys. So do hang out. Steelers are number 13 in the latest poll. 13, depending on which one you look at in the power poll. Steelers are 13. The Ravens are 14. But the point I'm bringing this up isn't that. It isn't even the fact that the Steelers are 13 and the Ravens are 14. The fact is, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I pulled up the list of the top the power rankings. And there's an observation that I made, and I think that you guys are going to appreciate it as Steeler fans. Let me just pull it up here real quick. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I think you're gonna think it's interesting. I truly do. Tyrone saying 2 sacks, strip sack. I hope you're right, dude. Mark Malone says watt power. All right, I'm almost there. All right, here we go, guys. Let's take a look at this power rankings. And again, the teams are relevant to their ranking, but the point that I'm going to make is this: number one. And again, the rankings are irrelevant. So whoever's number one, it doesn't matter if we agree or we don't agree. The point being this: for the Steelers, a lot of people say this: how are things going to get better? People say it's not going to be with this coaching staff. People say, what are we going to do? Who are you going to bring in? This guy at least gets you enough wins every year to say that you're not losing. You're not playing losing football. Look at this. The Patriots, a top 5 team. Drake May, franchise quarterback. Mike Vrabel, new coach. New coach, franchise quarterback. Just 6-7 years ago, it was Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and people said, how in the hell can this team continue? You don't have Belichick or Brady. Well, new coach Mike Vrabel in town, Drake May. This team has the best record in the NFL. Is it them or Denver? I don't know. Whatever one. Again, how is this team ever going to get any better? You lost Belichick and Brady. Mike Vrabel, Drake May. This team is back to the top already. Let me continue. I'm going to go right here. 2. For some reason, this is in terrible order. All right, so this isn't in order, but Chicago Bears. Chicago. How is this team ever going to be good? They're never good. They had one good year in 1985. What did they have? A new coach and a franchise quarterback. They bring in Ben Johnson, new coach. Caleb, new franchise quarterback. And what's the Bears doing all of a sudden? Top of their division, going to the playoffs, successful season. It helped the Bears. Let me continue to look at some Jacksonville. These team stinks. They're in a terrible division. They never do anything. But Jacksonville Jaguars, back in it. Liam Cohn, new coach. Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback. Jacksonville wasn't doing anything for quite some time. They are back in the almost, I don't know if it's they're fighting for them top 2 spots with the Texans. But hold on, the Texans. What do they got? D'Amico Ryans, a newer head coach, couple years, and their franchise quarterback, C.J. Stroud. These are teams that weren't good just a couple years back. All these teams I'm mentioning. Let me continue to look here. I mean, it's truly fascinating. Even the Broncos, who Jay Payton, he's been here a few years. He was here through the Russell Wilson. You're right, Cody. The Panthers. Listen, Payton was there for Russell Wilson, so he's relatively new, but he's still been there a few years. Point being, newer coach, Bo Nix, franchise quarterback. Was Denver doing anything for the past, except for those 2 years when Peyton Manning was there? Nothing. What's they got? The new coach and a franchise quarterback. And you continue to go down this list of teams. And the top teams in this league, every team that's in front of us as we sit in the 13th spot, they all have one or both of those two combinations, and they are teams that have improved. Seattle, Cody, Seattle. The coach is not coming to my mind right off the top of my head, but again, they bring in Sam Darnold. Same thing. New coach, franchise quarterback. So again, for anybody sitting around going, well, we can't get rid of our coach. I mean, he does bring us wins every year. We do at least make it to 500. Look at all these teams. These are teams that aren't generally good or were good and fell off. And the key that I'm seeing is they all have new coaches and franchise quarterbacks. And they're all, it's Steeler, you're right, 3-14 the Patriots were last year. 3-14. This team is going to be, the 2 seed probably. 3-14. The Patriots got just as good a chance to win the Super Bowl this year as anybody does. Put it to you that way. We can't be afraid to change because the change would be. There's always a possibility that things aren't going to go as good as you want. But look what's going on around the league. The only teams that are getting better and improving and are the good teams anymore. Look at all the teams that are atop their divisions right now. The Broncos, we just explained them. The Patriots, we just explained them. The Jaguars, the Texans, every team in the AFC that's in the playoffs, same thing. Newer coach, franchise quarterback. That's we might have cracked something here, guys. So, do you like Tomlin? Of course. How can you not? He's been our coach for 20 years. Of course, you like the guy. But this isn't a like the guy decision. This is a decision to improve your football team. So again, something I did want to bring up: every single team that's in the head of their division either has, even with the Rams and the McVays and the Buffaloes and San Franciscos, these coaches are still relatively new in the league. What do they have? Franchise quarterbacks, Josh Allen, and Brock Purdy for that matter. So again, guys, we have to be willing to change. We have to, or we will continue to stay in this funk that we've been in for 10 years. Every team winning their division or in a good spot right now has those two things. Every team. Just something to keep in mind. What else do we got? You know what? Let me get on the board. I like to see what you guys got to say about this. And I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go right here. Somber, he'll be on snap count if he plays. I'm not getting excited yet. Tyrone says depends on his health. I'm snap count first half. Second though, Patriots. John said 3-14 last year. He's definitely playing. Mark Steeler Freak says Ben Johnson can elevate. That's what I'm saying. That's all they need. Ben Johnson was the answer the whole time in Chicago. They've been bad for 100 years. They did lose the Super Bowl in the early 2000s with come on, that team wasn't any good. But that team in 85, guys, this is 2025. It's going to be 2026 in less than 12 hours. These teams figured it out. We haven't. Because we're sensitive. Oh God, we can't fire him. You know what? Bring in D'Amico Ryans. I'll take him then. I mean, that's going to be the argument. Fuck, I don't care. I want to win football games. He could be a fucking alien for all I care at this point. I would say good coaching and the ability to develop the unknowns into dudes for the past. It's it's something that we're not doing. I can tell you that. It's something that we're not doing. So whatever we're doing, throw it out the window and look around the league. It is a copycat league, and we are unfortunately are still in the early 2000s. We're not keeping up with the rest of the league, and that's not good. And we don't want to be like everybody. Well, you don't want to win? We'll continue to do the same thing and just continue to, again, 10 years of the same thing. That's a long enough time for me, guys. It's time to make decisions to move. Quick question, though. And again, I'm going to get a lot of people that's going to laugh and tell me I'm stupid. But let's just say, let's say out of the blue, somehow something crazy happens this year, and Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin turn this thing around, and they go and they win in San Francisco in mid-February. It's not going to happen. But let's say it does happen. Where does that leave you as a fan with Coach Tomlin? Let's say it's a crazy playoff. Something crazy happens. There's a play that happens that allows us to do that. Not exactly because we're the better team, but we win the Super Bowl. Let's say that. How you guys feeling about Mike Tomlin? Do you want to keep him? I mean, the guy pulled it together and won a Super Bowl. Just kind of curious. Again, I'm looking at all these teams. I just want to know where the Yinzers are. Because again, I hear the opinions. I hear what everyone's saying. But let's just say it's a big hypothetical with a big H. If we do win in mid-February, does that change your mind about our coach and keeping him around? Just curious. Just curious. It could be very interesting for sure. Let's see here. S-Dad says if the Pats can move on from exactly. If the Patriots can move on from Belichick and the GOAT, guys, the GOAT. I think the Steelers can do it too. Again, we're still in limbo. They moved on. They made the right football business moves. New England did. And you're seeing the fruits of their labor. They're successful. They're back in it. They're one of the top best teams in the AFC, and they have just as good a chance to win the Super Bowl as anybody. We're still in this 10-year limbo, the post-Ben limbo. The things have to change, guys. They have to. State of the art coaching with the right quarterback. The Steelers never have neither. You're right. They don't. Lindsay also says we really don't know anything. Your lung depends on your stamina, how much you can handle. Somber says this. We're also scared to play rookies that aren't first rounders unless they're. You're right. A lot of decisions that's made by it's old school, and I'm not talking 80s, 70s when we were great. It's old school in the sense it's early 2000s. We've never grown. We've done the opposite. Tortilla. Shit, we'll play a 6th-rounder on defense before we play a 3rd-rounder on offense. Look how long it took Darnell Washington to get involved in the offense. The guy's 9 feet tall and 500 pounds. Just throw him the ball. There's not much to understand. Believe me. Even not knowing the position, he's still going to be more productive than some guys because of his size. It's truly unbelievable. We got to get up to date. This team has to get up to date. It has to. Unless we like this limbo, we could continue to do this for another decade, right? Tyrone says, let's just hope we have a good game plan. S-Dad said, Eagles have 2 rings with 2 different coaches. They've had 2 rings with 2 different coaches in the last 10 years while we've been in this limbo of not winning a playoff game. Tortilla says, you can't fire me. I'm already cooked. Mike Tomlin, I think. Bingo says this, being satisfied with 500 or a game over 2 over is some pussy shit. No way to be strive for perfection. Push Dom. What exactly is the game plan for this team every year? It makes you wonder. What's the thought process going into every season? They can't believe things are going to get better. You know what it was? They said this is going to be one of the most dominant defenses ever. That's what we were told in the preseason last year. And also in preseason, they told us that we didn't need a wide receiver 2 for the 2nd year in a row. We would be just fine with the talent that we have, The tight ends are going to carry the load. This is what they told us. This is what this is. Again, other teams, off season, franchise quarterbacks, new head coaches, new innovative, younger head coaches for the most part. Steelers, we're going to bring in 53 tight ends, and that's going to be okay. That's going to get it done. Again, I like the guy, guys. That's what people got to understand, especially, come on, think of it as a football situation. We need news. We got to move on. We have to move on. Again, I'm all for this season. I'm all for continuing to win. I'm all for winning this weekend and moving on. I'm for all that. And as a matter of fact, I'll continue to tell everyone that Mike Tomlin's my coach for the rest of my life, as I say Cower and Chuck Noll is. But guys, it's no secret the Pittsburgh Steelers have to move on. And with the draft coming here in April, I think it's the perfect opportunity to do just that. And what goes on with the coach, I know he still has another year on his contract, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Things could happen, be changed, adjusted, revised, all that kind of fun stuff. So again, I like the guy. I do. I mean, he's getting on my nerves at this point with just his excuses, the endless excuses. But, I like them. I love MT. He's my dude. It's just time for us to move on. It just is. How can you deny it? That's all I got to say. S-Dad says, I can see Harbaugh being let go, but that's what I said yesterday. This should be it's sports entertainment, right? Make this game for all the marbles. Not only they win and move on, the loser's coach goes home forever. The losing coach goes to broadcasting. Mike Tomlin's last game was a Steeler. He says, out Tomlin, Cody says that. Lindsay says, now you like him, Tyrone? Bingo. Bingo says we should be an icebreaker. Instead, we're below in a wooden ship, sticking our fingers in holes, trying to just be average. This is bullshit. Ty says, I'm 50-50. Mark Malone says, if we do lose, there has to be threats for nonstop chance for fire Tom. This could be an interesting game. Guys, again, if you missed the game on Sunday night, shame on you. No matter if you're a football fan in general, it could be very, very interesting to say the least with everything that's being said. Who knows? The chance start? Is this going to be Aaron Rodgers' last game? Winner moves on. That basically, this is already the playoffs. Loser goes home. Shame on you if you missed this football game on Sunday night, and ultimately already being one of the top rivalries in all pro sports in America. So, and around the world for that matter. Bingo says this. Wait a minute. No, right here. Yes, Bingo. No, John says fans who claim the 6 trophies while arguing with other teams, fans should be ready for Tomlin to go after only 4 of 19 seasons with playoff wins. Guys, what do you think about that? Let's take this non-losing seasons and just throw it out of the window. That's became a participation trophy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It has. It's our participation trophy at this point. Yay, we did it. We're here. We made it, guys. We'll see you next year. 4 seasons we've won playoff games in out of 19 under this head coach. 4. That means 15 of his 19 seasons there was no playoff wins. Think about that, guys. Think about that. All right here. Tyrone says season ain't over yet. It's not, brother. Again, I will continue to call this the playoffs because it is what it is. We win, we move on. We lose, we go home. And I think we win. I do think we win on Sunday. Tyrone says that I'm riding with my coach, period. Also, Tortilla says, I wonder if there's a Mike Tomlin iceberg on the internet somewhere. Lindsay says, Brown's game just lost. S-Dad says, Rooney Rule hire will never be fired. He stays till he wants to leave on his own. Art is a wuss. I think that Art is a wuss. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the legalities and the DEIs and all that conversation, but I just know that it seems like the ownership is very wussy these days. We'll say that. Steeler Freak says this. The Patriots are closer to 7. The 49ers are smelling 6. And here are the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. We haven't won a playoff game in, again, almost a decade. Just saying, again, it's all about football for me. All the other BS with the coach and the whatever. I want to win football games. That's all that matters. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm into the Steelers. That's why I'm into football. Tyrone says, okay, we talking about Sunday. Lindsay says, Rooney Rule has nothing to do with having a job. It's for interviews. And that's true. That is true, Lindsay. Also, Richard says they would both walk away if they won the Super Bowl this year. And I think everybody wins in that situation. So let's root for that to happen, guys. A Steelers Super Bowl win, and maybe everybody wins. Who knows, right? Tyrone says, and I saw a game live, still got my faith. And that's right, Tyrone was up in Cleveland last week. Tyrone did make the trek up there. Mark Malone, yeah. Tortilla says, if Mike Tomlin wins another Super Bowl, I'll get a Mike Tomlin tattoo. That's what I'm saying. Come on. If we win a Super Bowl, guy, I mean, that just uproots all the narratives and everything that's being said. He'll get the wins. He'll get there. He'll get it done. So, how do you feel? What would you say? Cody says, nope. He says, that don't change my mind. He says, I'm out for Tomlin. As Dad says, Russ Grimm was hired first, and they screwed. That was an odd situation. Russ Grimm was, they were leaning toward him. Bingo says he's got to go. He said he's got to go. Got to go. He said he got to go. Kenneth Jones, I'm sorry, Steeler Freak says this Tomlin leaving after a Super Bowl win makes no sense unless he won. I know, and I'm just throwing together a hypothetical situation. And I guess you're referring to the comment earlier. Okay, my bad. Kenneth says, I think Howard can have the success Drake may if Tomlin is gone. The one thing about Howard and May, you really watched May become a great quarterback in the ACC, North Carolina. A guy like Howard, it makes you wonder when you have the best recruiting, all the best players around you, it just makes you wonder what his value really is. I mean, when you're in an ideal situation, it's easy to be great, which he was in college, and he was able to win the national championship with Ohio State, of course. But it just makes you, you start to say, well, what, Drake May, he wasn't on a great team and was still able to become a great quarterback in college and now into the pros. So again, like everybody else, I don't know what to expect from Will Howard. I have no clue. We haven't had a chance to see the guy play this year. The poor guy play again out all preseason with his hand injury. So it's going to be difficult, guys, especially let's say the season ends this week. And the next move for us is the draft. Well, guess what? We never seen the quarterback that we drafted even take a snap. I don't think the season will end this weekend, but again, it's such a weird. We got a lot of weird situations, guys. It's time for this team to move forward. I'm just saying, it's turned into a clusterfuck. All right, I'm gonna go right here. Raven says, y'all only won because we got robbed for a touchdown and DK was your whole team. Let me ask you this, Raven. How did you get robbed? Please explain. Show me the video of where they were wrong. I didn't see a football move. And if it counts, if that's the criteria for the catches around the league and it didn't happen for you and you use an excuse, it just makes you look stupid. It just makes you look like you're coming up with an excuse. And again, that's what the Ravens do. 9 out of the last 11 times we played you. What about those games, Raven? Raven, let me ask you that. Raven says this: you only won because we got robbed for a TD and DK was your whole team. All right, now I'm giving you respect by replying to that, right? My question to you, I want you to reply to me. What's your excuses for the last 9 out of the 11 times that we beat you? What's the excuse for all those times? We did beat you 9 out of the last 11 games, Raven. I just want to say that. 9 out of the last 11. I gave you my attention. I'm now asking for you to do the same. Give me your respect back and tell me what the excuse is for the last 9 out of 11 times that we beat you. I'll wait. Let me move on the board. Right here, Cody, Tortilla, and Tyrone could take pictures with their Mike Tomlin and JPJ tattoos. They're matching tattoos. Tortilla says, your girl loved my Mike Tomlin tattoo. Lindsay says, shut the F up. Ravens fan, cry a little hard. Exactly. And I hardly doubt we're going to get an intelligent answer or even a response. It was seems to me like a coward Raven fan coming in just to be a troll and then take off is what it seems to me. But again, I gave you my attention. Give me yours. Let's just say you got screwed last week against the Steelers. Let's just say that happened, and you didn't, because I pull the video out and prove to you that you didn't. Just tell me why. What's the reason the last 9 out of 11 games have gone to us? Show me you're not a douche. Bingo says this: don't forget an over 40-year-old quarterback with a broken wrist, naked bootlegging into the end zone. Yeah, you got the MVP quarterback. This shouldn't even be a conversation. We have a grandpa with a broken wrist beating your MVP quarterback. Get real. Get real. The Ravens are a joke. They always are. We will never fear the Ravens. There's no reason to. There never has been. Derek Ross, right? Wants to play rookies. Tomlin sucks with the up-to-date. You're right. We're very, very far behind. We just are. Cody says she told me it's a trap stamp. Somber says this. F up to date. Can we get a hold of the herd? Damn. Steeler Freak says, my question is, was Cook that good during practice? Here it is. You know what? I don't think this is since I responded to him, but this this Raven faithful, he says TJ Watt was not playing. LOL. You know what? I had these reserved for the tater tart, but I got to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to start pulling them out for the Raven fan as well. I have a special soundboard, and I'm gonna turn it on the Ravens here in just a second if I can get to it. But in the meantime, let me get some more messages here. Derek Ross says we don't fucking play rookies. That's why I can't. I can say Tomlin sucks with draft, right? I mean, come on. Some rookies it takes years. Mark Robinson was on this team for 5 seasons, I think 4 seasons at least. The linebacker, and the guy could hit too. He was a hammer. But this guy, I don't know what it is with the rookies. I don't know. All right. Also, Tortilla, Mike Tomlin's game plan is literally watching old Steelers highlights and then sending his team out to replicate them. That is actually hilarious. I can't wait to get to these tater comments because I could see how stupid he is already, and I'm not even close to his comment yet, but I'm already seeing the stupidity on the board. But let me get caught up here. All right here. Tyrone says Ravens fan for life. Y'all ash. Shut the fuck up. I mean, come on. They literally never done anything better. And same with Cleveland as well. So I mean that's what does make this comical. And that's again why we do keep a lot of these guys around. They're funny more than anything. Steeler Freak says this: Ryan, I am digging into the wide receiver issue. Apparently, there were too many who didn't want to come to Pittsburgh. The Steelers can't announce that. But the thing is, it's a business as well, though. People want a paycheck, right? In the great wheeler and dealer, Omar Khan. I mean, come on, this dude should be able to get in there and get things done. The fact that we weren't able to employ a wide receiver 2 for 2 seasons is unacceptable. Whatever the situation is, you can't find somebody in 2 years. That's a big time problem. All right, we're gonna go right here. As Dad says, 10 more wins and Tomlin passes Noel. Let that sink in. That's true. And if that's true, I'm going to leave it at that because I do again. I like the guy, so I'm not going to tear into him. It's New Year's. Why should we do that today, guys? Let's go to the next comment. Tyrone says TJ definitely playing. LOL. Mark Malone, we should give another team our first, second, and third round picks to take Tomlin off our hands. Derek says yes. R-Max says good Tomlin take. Thanks, brother. Tyrone says I know Lamar's scared of 90. I would be too. R-Max says if we lose the game, no booing. That's not the way for a Tomlin or Rodgers to go out. Cody says this, whenever you bring up fire Tomlin, the immediate response, that's what I'm saying, dude. And that's what's fucking stupid. That pisses me off more than anything because it shouldn't be that way. Okay, there are idiots, but guess what? There's idiots everywhere. Believe me. Believe me. There's Houston Texans fans that will say the same thing if D'Amico Ryan's job comes. That's what we can't let those people dictate our happiness and what it is we enjoy. And I refuse to do it. I refuse. They don't deserve your time. Come on. Tater. There's that Tater twat. Let's go ahead and see what Tater has to say. Tater, back on the board. My man. Clear from Cleveland. I have to make one adjustment here before I read his comment. I'm sorry. Let me jump ahead of him for a second. Steeler Freak says, I don't think Tomlin would dig going to a team with draft debt because of him. That is fantasy land thinking. That's what John says on the board. And me, I'm ready to I'm ready for Tater Tard's comments now. I'm finally prepared on my end. So let's go back to the Tard. My man, the Cleveland Brown fan. Again, I'm not even convinced that Tater Tard is out of school yet. Have you noticed that he showed up since the Christmas break? Let's see. Again, I don't know if Tater Tard's mom knows he's here. But let's see. Tater Tot did, in fact, say something, and I don't want to leave Tater Tot out. Tater Tot, what did he say? Pittsburgh. Oh, great. Tater Tot. There you go. Tater Tot's comments. And Cody, and listen, and we know because we're friends on the show and on your show. Just in case, Cody, you're not getting what it is that the Tard is saying. I'm translating this to Cody. Cody, so you could know exactly what it is that's being said by the Tater Tard, the Cleveland Brown fan on our terrible board. Cody, this one especially for you. There you go, Cody. That is for you, my man. And that is so you can understand what the Tater Tart is saying. Obviously being facetious, my friend. But there you go. That was for Cody, my man. Somber says that would be very AFC North. Let's right here. I'm gonna go. Tyrone says, how many you got? Tomlin 4 for 4. Somber, winning coach gets fired, losing coach gets extended. That's probably the way it's gonna play out, unfortunately. I have to get caught up on some of these comments because I see how ridiculous they are. I have to get to these Tater Tot comments because he's starting to say things that are absolutely ridiculous. I'm seeing, so I'm getting there. I promise you guys, I'm getting there. Mark Malone said there should be a Clayton Bigsby skit on Mike Tomlin. Steeler Freak says this. John says Tomlin is 8-11 in the playoffs with his wins coming at the beginning. He really hasn't done anything since 2011. Think about that, guys. That's not wrong. We've only won playoffs in 4 of his 19 seasons. We've only won playoff games in 4 of his 19 seasons. And wasn't a lot of them at the very beginning when he was handed a team? I'm just saying, do what you want with that. Hasn't done much on his own of building anything up since then. You can remember there was a couple wins in the Arizona Super Bowl season, 3 of them to be exact, and just a couple other years. So, guys, something to keep in mind. The Tater, on top of his usual, Tater is saying this, Tomlin, come to Cleveland. We will appreciate it. You know what? You could take Tomlin. You could go to your dumb dome and continue to suck. That's just what it is that they've come accustomed to in Cleveland, and I'm here for it. Armac says, this Cleveland fan, don't disrespect our women like that. How many rings you got is what Tyrone, and this is where I'm getting into because, again, this is where Cleveland feels important, and they're really not. They're really not. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. Bingo says, LOL, okay, Super Bowl, even if Tomlin, even in Tomlin's still here, we're having these same conversations next year. Cody says Howard was bad at K-State. Interesting. I just don't see Rooney fired Tomlin after a Super Bowl win. As Dad said, is Tomlin better than, no, he's not better than George Seifert. I can specifically remember watching Seifert's teams, and they were good. And they had Roger Craig, and they had players that, again, yes, George Seifert is a better coach in my opinion by watching the most play. All right, here it is. This is the one that I was waiting for, guys. All right, Tater Tot, he says, we have 4 NFL championships, dog. Bro, if you haven't noticed, people only pay attention to the Super Bowls. Have you noticed nobody cares about how many championships the Chicago Bears had in the 1930s? Nobody cares about the Packers championships prior to Super Bowl I. Nobody cares about anything that's being said about the Cleveland Browns because, again, 4 NFL championships, dog. Don't cut it. He goes on and says there was football before Super Bowl and Super Bowl, dog. It just didn't start in 1970. Well, anything that matters did. The Super Bowl started in 1967, just to be a little more clear for you. And if you haven't won in 60 years, your team probably ain't shit. I'm just saying. It's been 60 years since the Super Bowl started. And I know that the Browns didn't win it the prior couple years before that, so it's been more than 60 years. So maybe win something and then talk to us because, again, no. And here's the thing about you, Todd. You don't understand the normal concept of thought. Because now Todd's saying, so football began in 1970 then. Okay. No, that's not the case, asswipe. The fact is, the Super Bowl started in 1967. And I don't know if you noticed, that's the only thing that people care or pay attention to. It wasn't the NFL that we know it when your team was winning. Guess what? The Pirates were good in the early 1900s. Let's talk about them World Series. You want to talk about how good the Pirates World Series teams was in 1902, now in 2025? Come on. You're crazy. You're a crazy little tater tart. Let's move on. I'm going to go right here. We should hire Shane Gillis as the head coach, Tortilla is saying. Somber says this. Somber says, Tainter, you can have Patrick Mahomes and still the Browns will be 3-4. Exactly. The Browns really have no argument. They really don't. They're lucky they're a team. They're lucky somebody came along and even was interested in making them a team again. That your team left you. The city. They were so disenfranchised with your city. They jumped in a Mayflower truck and took the team away overnight. Bro, that's not good on any level. Tortilla says, you don't have any. Do you have any Super Bowls? Which has been the story for the past 6 decades. Cody says, I'm sorry, Somber. Howard also led K-State to a Big 12 championship in 2022. The kid's a winner. What Somber is saying. All right. Tortilla says, different league, bro. Haven't y'all won a Super Bowl? It was a whole different league. You know what? Our Pittsburgh, what are they? What is our why am I having a hard time remembering this? The Maulers. The Maulers were even in a championship game 2 years ago. That's more current than what the Browns have done anything lately. So again, the Pittsburgh Maulers, our UFL team, was in the championship game 2 years ago. Somber says this, the last 9 out of 11, and they've had a franchise quarterback. That's exactly right. While we won 9 out of the 11 games. They've had an MVP franchise quarterback. We've literally had nothing. We've had Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. Steeler Freak says, I'm glad Sanders isn't the Steelers quarterback. I'm glad Jackson. Exactly. I don't want either one of them guys. They're bums, obviously. What's your MVP done over there in Baltimore? Tortilla says this, no football didn't begin then. No one said that you were arguing with yourself. Exactly. Tortilla also says, where people start making shit up, talking for you when their argument is overwhelmingly wrong. Tater says, we dominated in the 50s and 60s. 50s and 60s? Bro, this is 2025. He said 50s and 60s. My God. Most people, I'm guessing most people in his room wasn't even born. Again, yeah, Pirates, come on. All them World Series back in the day. We should be recognized right now as one of the great teams is basically what you're saying. Steeler Freak says this right here. Tortilla says that no one remembers. Yeah, I know. They're literally the only people that literally remember this. Steeler says this: the tot is giving the podcast engagement time in cash. Let him stay for the X. Exactly. I'm not letting this guy go for nothing. I am not letting our let him stay for the abuse. Cody says dominant 50-60s. Tortilla, talk championships all you want. No one really cares about them. They're only AFC, NFC championships now. Exactly. You've won the come on. How retarded. Somber says, who the fuck wants to come to a team with no quarterback? If I'm a wide receiver, I'm not coming to Pittsburgh. Hey, you're right. Get your franchise quarterback. It's only been how many years? Come on. Bingo says, yeah, those leather helmets gave you the advantage with your dense as fuck Neanderthal skulls. That also was at Tater. Lindsay says, yeah, right. Somber. Cody says, that was 60 years ago, because also Steeler Freak says, wide receivers talk. GP's version of the Steelers didn't help. Facts, Tyrone. Also, Elholm, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Elholm on a terrible board. I hope you're ready for the new year. Elholm says Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers are future Hall of Famers, and they are. They're just past their prime. I couldn't agree more. They're past their prime, and I'm ready for their Hall of Fame speeches. That's where I'm at with them, too. Tater twat. Tater tard. Steeler Free KC fans want. I know. Talking about spoiled. KC fans want Andy. We'll take Andy Reid. Cleveland could have Mike Tomlin. How's that? I'll take that in a heartbeat. Retated, not retarded. Retated. Nobody. Tater. That is literally one of the dumbest things I've ever seen anybody say. Here, let me tell you how this one sounds. Hey, listen. Tater literally said this: Pittsburgh never won an NFL championship. As a matter of fact, we've won more of the championships that actually matter than anybody. So, a happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Tortilla says, because we won Super Bowls. Tortilla says, no one cares about championships in the NFL except for the teams that have won. Exactly. The teams that never won are going to tell you how many championships they've had in back in the prehistoric days. John says, every team losing in the playoffs will have their fans go nuts and ask for extreme. Absolutely. Elholm also says Pittsburgh Steelers have never fired. Not any of these three. Not since the Super Bowl era. You're right. In the Super Bowl era, the Steelers have never fired a head coach. Bingo says if the Chiefs would quit with the insurance commercials and Hallmark movies and the whore Taylor Swift, they would be fine. Armac says I take Tomlin for Schwartz as defensive coordinator. Tortilla, how many toilets in the new stadium, Tater? Somber says this. He says with Tater's logic, Bill Russell is the guy. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Is Bill Russell the best basketball player ever? And this idiot will say LeBron James. I guarantee it. All right, so here we go, guys. Ready? I'm seeing some more Ravens fans, and this is going to be fun. Minx the Cutie. I don't know. I like that. I don't know. Minx the Cutie says this, bottom line, we eliminated the Steelers at Acrisure Stadium 28-14, and we'll do it again this season. Guys, we beat you 9 out of the last 11 times with your MVP quarterback, and we've had none. Match that up with our Mitch Trubisky's and our Kenny Pickett's. Believe me, you guys are pretty bad. I'm just saying, but Minx the Cutie, I like the name. See, Tarf, we have rings. Talk about the toilet dome. That toilet. I know now they finally have a seat to put down. They're going to make this dome in Cleveland. That's got to be the dumbest thing. L. Holmes said this: Mike Tomlin won Pittsburgh as Leroy Kelly took over for Jim Brown. Steve Young took over for Joe Montana. Tomlin took the Steelers to the Super Bowl. Tater Tot, he says this. Tyrone says Minx the Cutie. It was in Baltimore. I wasn't gonna correct her because I don't know how cute Minx the Cutie is. But it was in Baltimore to just correct you on that, Minx. Tyrone says doing that and on Somber, both of our teams are in shambles. Be realistic. Talking like either team is a world beater. You're delusional, sweetie. I couldn't agree more. Boy, is that true. Tortilla says we'll win 10 Super Bowls by the time the Browns win one. Minx, yeah, Minx is all right. Again, I don't know if this is since the last time we've responded, but Minx did write again. She says, not to mention, a lot of this rivalry is decided by 3 points. It is. I don't know what the point is that you're trying to make, but yes, that is very true, Minx. I hope you have a great New Year's, ma'am. Steeler Freak says, yeah, and Spartacus was the best gladiator. Who gives a F, Todd? Come on. Elholm says Leroy Kelly is a Hall of Famer, also running back for the Cleveland Browns after taking over for Jim Brown. All right, interesting. I didn't know. Again, anything. I was born in the Super Bowl era, so I don't pay attention to a lot that went on before the Super Bowl era. I just don't. It's not relevant anymore to learn. Let's move on. Tortilla says Ravens used to be the Browns. Y'all can't even talk. Minx, hey, what's up, Minx? Minx is back. She said, Tyrone, regardless, we eliminated y'all. But you did. You eliminated us. You did. And I got to be honest with you. I respect the Ravens organization. I always have. And how could you not when they built the organization to mirror and compete with the Steelers? They did it the right way. They left being the Browns and they basically changed to being the Steelers. If you think about the way their organization is ran, how it was built, how they compete, the two organizations mirror one another. The Browns are the Ravens I respect. They left being Cleveland to become more like Pittsburgh. That's not a bad thing. I'm throwing it out there. The Steelers happen to be one of the most successful franchises. So again, take it as a compliment, if you will. Tortilla says, shit, can Tater even claim those championships? Because didn't the Browns become they did. Exactly. Elom says this, Mike Tomlin is an NFL Hall of Famer coach. Also, after taking over Steelers right after, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. No argument. And I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. I'm ready. I'm ready to watch my head coach become a Hall of Famer one day. Bingo says, my vote is for Angie Agar for head coach. Ming says this, we no longer have any affiliation with the Browns. And that I would be most proud about if I was you as well, Minx. Tortilla says, once a Brown, always a Brown. Tyrone says, not this time. Lamar's a bum. The way I read that wrong, the way I read that at first, I read it wrong, and I thought that I thought Tortilla said Minx was Lamar using a burner account here on the board, which again, who knows? Maybe it is. Cody says, Raven Nation, you guys stole you chant from the Jets. Jets, Jets. That is true. One of the oldest chants in the NFL. Somber says the AFC North is the worst division in the NFL. The NFC South is really bad. I just got to say, I don't think anybody from the NFC South that's going to win that division will be over 500. So again, I guess that could be the case also here as well. No, Baltimore is 8-8, so they would be over 500 if they won also. So the NFC South is in bad shape. No fan has room to talk, if we're being honest. So other fans coming in here yapping just shows you how dumb they are. There's the Todd again. Hold on. Mink says this. She says, but thanks to the Browns for keeping our season. I get that for sure. Because I would do the same thing. If we needed help and they won, I would say the same thing. So I get you. Armax says, I was born in 1947. 1947. Ryan. And Cody says, my dad wasn't even born yet. Tortilla says, this one fucked up three-way. Tyrone, just to beat you again and end your season is what he's saying. Mink says this. Why are we talking about chance when you should be talking about the momentum we have? Onions did win a game. I'll give you that. It's won a game. All right. Just kidding. Armax says this. Ravens for life. Lamar is back. And I got to be honest with you, Raven for life. And I haven't even read your message yet. I'm just going to say this. I would rather face Lamar Jackson. The guy has bad back issues right now. He couldn't even stand 2 weeks ago. We beat Lamar a month ago. I feared him when he was a young, explosive player. At his age now, guys, I would rather play Lamar. So let's hope that this continues. Let's hope his back stays healthy at least through Sunday. I come on. I think we have more of a chance to lose to Snoop Huntley. I really do. Raven says this, but by all means, I will read his comment. Raven says Lamar back at practice in the way he said he took that Pittsburgh loss personal. Dude, we beat you 9 out of the last 11 times. It's more than one loss. It's playing out with a chip Sunday night. We about to blow y'all out. TK. I mean, probably, maybe that'll happen. I guess. Didn't we beat you last time and 9 out of the last 11 times? But I'm sure it'll all change on Sunday in Pittsburgh. I'm sure it will. Al Holmes says this: Steve Young is an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback after taking over for Joe Montana for the 49ers, right? After taking over for Joe Montana, same as Cowher took over for Steelers after Noel, Tomlin, Cowher, Tomlin. No, not an argument. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's had enough seasons where he didn't have a losing season. That's going to get him into the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. That's going to be it. That's going to be the reason he goes to Canton one day. And again, on another show where there's more time, I'll certainly I'll debate it with you. I really will. We'll get together all of our information. But I do agree. He will be a Hall of Famer. But I do think it is because of the non-losing seasons, which again is kind of don't you want to go because of big game wins, championships? Maybe even at least being mentioned for Coach of the Year once in almost 2 decades. It's going to be because of no losing seasons, which again, it's an accomplishment. It is an accomplishment. Let me go right here. John Black. Baltimore is too good. We can't win. Yeah, whatever. They literally have a defense that's almost as bad as Cincinnati's, which is funny. Again, if it's turned into a one-dimensional game the way it was last time, I think we win this game. I do. They're going to try to run Derrick Henry, and it only got him 97 yards last time. So we're going to go out and stop him again. Again, make Lamar beat us. I don't think he can. I just don't think he can. The guy's hurt. I would rather face Lamar. Let's bring it on. Somber says this: Ravens or Steelers getting bounced first round. Why are you excited about that? LOL. No ball knowledge, head ass. No ball knowledge, head ass. What he said. Tortilla also says this: all of Baltimore's momentum went up Lamar's ass. LeBron James, LOL. Armac, Ryan, MJ, or LeBron. Magic. I'm sorry, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Come on. The guy's never had any teammates. People go, Scottie Pippen. What happened to Scottie when he went on to play for Portland and Houston? Yeah, he disappeared into the night. Michael Jordan did way more than LeBron needed help. LeBron demanded he wouldn't go to a team that didn't have help for the first 15 years of his career. Come on. He needed at least 2 other guys on his team who were considered stars. That never was a Jordan issue, ever. Never. He just won all the times. Again, Scottie Pippen. And I like the younger people that use the Scottie Pippen argument because they truly don't know. Let's move on. A lot of things on the board. I still have more things I want to talk about, guys. Is New Year's Eve. I didn't know how today was going to go. I didn't know if it was going to go on even this long, but I'm happy everybody's here. I'm glad everyone's here on New Year's Eve. Tyrone says LeBron easily. Cody says LeBron. You know what? I've never seen anybody flop like LeBron. You call that the greatest player ever? The flops alone are embarrassing. But anyway, that's basketball. Whatever. We'll continue on. Minx the Cutie says, I love your beard too. Thanks for having her purple heart. You know what? Minx, anytime. And for you, huh? Anytime. You come back. It's my New Year's resolution for Minx. Minx is allowed back anytime. Trap detected. Also, Bingo says this. Armax says Spartacus wasn't a gladiator. What the hell? Tortilla says Curry better than LeBron. They're just 2 different type of players. Very good. Again, come on. Curry's something else himself. John Black says Ravens just too good. We will lose. Also, John Black says the Baltimore Browns. I'm not real sure what John Black is going in, what direction he is, but I'm definitely seeing your messages. Also, Tortilla says you got to be careful saying Baltimore Browns. People get the wrong idea. Minx says this. No burner account. LOL. Come on. Yes. All right, Minx. John Black, 75% of the account north are the Browns, and then there is the Bengals. What are you even talking about? What are you even saying? You type like you have a mental disorder. Minx says, this come see me in the Vault Ravens podcast. We will have a go. Absolutely, I will. I will do just that. As a matter of fact, I got to write it down because if I don't, I forget. I don't retain the Vault. When is the Vault on? Minx. Right here, Ravens for Life says, would you rather face Lamar that is not smart? He is you know what? Call me smart or not. We've won 9 of our last 11 games. We've played the MVP many times. The guy has a bad back. The guy could barely stand 2 weeks ago. Yes, I would rather face Lamar Jackson. The guy, come on. Cody says Ravens pod. Why? I know. I'm going to turn the volume down. I just have to go over and look at Minx. Tortilla says we played good against Lamar for most part. We did 9 of the last 11. Again, guys, with your MVP, and we had in that period of time Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, the Russell Wilson experiment. Minx says, "Come on, Cody, be nice." Cody does not know how to be nice. He does not know how to be nice. That's just Cody. It's just the way he is. And a matter of fact, you know what? I already played his song. I can't do it now. I can't do it again. Maybe later. John Black says LJ8 to worried about staying up late and playing with himself. Again, I do think that you type like you have Tourette's, or you type like you have something wrong upstairs. But I'm going to move on. Bingo, he says this. Yeah, keep Lamar away from the Steelers' docs. They'll cut his damn legs off. What's in it for Cody? Tortilla's saying Cody also says Lamar holds the football like it has Justin Tucker lube all over. Hey, come on. I haven't seen Lamar Jackson hold on to the ball in a game against us for the past 5 years. Mink says this. The false narratives about Lamar are hilarious. Well, what's the false narratives? The fact that we beat 9 of the last 11 times? The fact that your MVP hasn't been able to stay on the same field as us for last 13 games? Last 11 games? John Harvey. What's up, John Harvey on the terrible board? He says, unless the refs give a bad calls for Baltimore, or the Ravens self-inflict with offensive turnovers and defensive penalties that are carelessness and stupid, it looks like last game for Aaron. Again, don't you say this every time? And don't we damn near beat you every time? But we beat you twice last year. But we beat you 9 out of the last 11. It just, again, I get it. The game is this weekend. You're excited and excitable. I understand. I get it. I'm not going to come down on you. Let's go right here. Ravens for life. We beat you 3 times. No, you didn't beat us 3 times last year, you wad. You beat us twice. We beat you the first time. You beat us the second time. And then you beat us in your house in the playoffs. We beat you 9 of the last 11. Look it up, please. John Black says, word on the street is, what is this J8? Bro. Cody says, your cute lips will not turn this around. Oh, man, my cute lips always turn around. What are you talking about? Somber 3 times. Our Mac. Open Google again. Somber says, Tortilla. They don't have Google in Baltimore. Hey, the Tot's back. He says.
Hey, listen.
And again, just in case Cody was having a hard time understanding. Mink says, chef's kiss at Ravens. Exactly. Henry was brick wall in 32 degrees. The Steelers ain't ready. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. I said I hope that we lose to Cleveland because we were due for a loss. We did win 3 games in a row, and we're going to beat Shins guys this week. So again, we were due for the loss, and it was against Cleveland. So I'm glad that's out of the way. Again, we're going to get this all figured out on Sunday night. No two ways about it. Tortilla says, where's Izzy at? Where is Izzy? I haven't seen Izzy for some time. Okay. Minx says this. She says that the vault is every day at 12 noon. Awesome. I will check you out. Matter of fact, I tell you, I don't know. We'll figure something out because we are on the air at the same exact time, but we'll get it figured out. Maybe we'll come over on the show at some point. We'll bring the show to you, or vice versa, and we'll see. I'll work on it over the holiday. Somber says, Lindsay quiet today. I figure she'd be snapping. Lindsay says, yeah, real quiet, Somber. Cody says this. Sorry, at noon we'll be here, but maybe if you change your time. Lindsay says not wasting my time. Somber. Also, this the fuck is the Vault Tortilla says somber money. I'm down to hit a lick. Also, Tortilla shit. If the vault is in Baltimore, I'm willing to bet it's been hit a few times. Mink said this. Now the false narratives about the late night gaming, and Mike Peterson, who wrote the article, has been a Baltimore Sun hater and right since LJ came into the league. I'm not real familiar with that. I know that there's a narrative that we don't play well at nighttime, which we lost 3 of the 4 games at night this year. Somber said this. Lamar doesn't need any false narratives. He has real narratives, like being a choke artist. Has he never not choked? He never won a championship. He was an MVP. I'm just saying. Also, Tortilla, the Vault podcast got the Baltimore accent. What is the Baltimore accent anyway? I don't know. I'm asking. Cody says this. So your own writers hate your team. Mink says at Tortilla, it's an all Ravens podcast with Bobby Baltimore and Sarah Ellison. Bobby Baltimore and Sarah Ellison. And finally, Cody says Bobby Baltimore. Let me get into a few more things, guys. And we are turning we're rounding third, if you will, here on this New Year's Eve special installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers, guys. I am glad to have everybody, even if you do support orange, even if you do support purple, whatever your case may be, we don't hate. Come on, come into the Two Dumb Yinzers. We'll talk. We'll talk to pretty much anybody. I think, right? I think. Let's see. Let's get into a few things before we do get to that point of the day. Right here. Here's one, guys. You want your mind, another Mike Tomlin fact to blow your mind? And this is mind-blowing. Mike Tomlin has 7 one-and-dones in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin has 7 one-and-dones in the playoffs, which is tied for the most in NFL history with Marvin Lewis of the Cincinnati Bengals all those years. Of course, used to be assistant here, Marvin Lewis. Guys, Mike Tomlin has 7 one-and-dones in the playoffs, which is tied for the most in NFL history. One more, he becomes that he has that record. So not only does he have the never had a losing record in the NFL, he has the most one-and-dones. Let's just say we go one and done. He becomes that guy. And Marvin Lewis, come on, he was kind of a joke all those years, wasn't he? Outside of Pittsburgh and went to Cincinnati, we laughed at Marvin Lewis. We laughed at them. Yes, Mike Tomlin does it one more time, guys. He will be the leader of that. And also, as John Black is saying on the board, Steelers are up 37-27 against Baltimore all time. Steeler Freak says, I don't care. He says, I'm riding with my coach, is what he's saying. What else do we got here? What else? Dylan Cook officially promoted. Anybody catch this? Dylan Cook, the left tackle, of course, stepping up for Broderick Jones when he went down with the Stingers. It seemed like a month ago, and he's disappeared into obscurity. Dylan Cook steps up, guys, and for the first time this season on the latest depth chart, Dylan Cook is officially promoted to starting left tackle on the official latest depth chart, guys. It's true. He's done such a great job. He kept Myles Garrett from getting his record-breaking sack. The prior 2 weeks gave up no sacks, gave up no big plays. The first week gave up no sacks. Goes on and on. Dylan Cook, guys, he does have the position. He's named number 1 left tackle on the Pittsburgh Steelers on the new depth chart. That is the first time that's happened. So good on him. Continue to keep doing the good work, Mr. Cook. We love seeing you out there. A couple more things, guys, and we are going to get to, we're going to get through these last few topics. We're going to look at the finalists for the Hall of Fame this year as they were announced the other day. And that's going to look like it's going to get us pretty close on our time for the day. I'm going to go right here. A couple more of these topics. We're just going to blow through them, actually. One more. 2 more. One more. Talking about that Browns game. I don't know if is Tater even still here? Don't you like the fact that and again, we haven't playing in Cleveland hasn't went well for us over the past few years. You think of the snow globe game last year, but the one narrative that came out of this game was Myles Garrett said the only thing, okay, there he is. Yeah, like that team was tanking last week. Come on, there's no game bigger for the Browns than the Steelers. I mean, ask anybody. If you deny it, you're in complete denial. But isn't this convenient that Myles Garrett goes? They were more focused on keeping Myles Garrett from sacking the quarterback than well. For one, it is a priority to stop somebody from sacking your quarterback. So for one, Cleveland's dumb. For two, isn't it convenient for him to say that, being that he couldn't get it done against a guy that literally played 2 games in his NFL career? 2. Guys, 2. He played 2 games prior, and he stopped Myles Garrett from getting that record sack last week. So again, isn't it convenient for Myles Garrett to actually come out and say they were more worried about me than winning? It just, what a joke. What a joke. Again, if Cincinnati does not let that record up, this will be the greatest weekend ever in the NFL. Again, I don't care about what Myles Garrett or even what the Browns do, but wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if they can't get that? He can't get that record with Cincinnati being the last game on their schedule. I think it would be. All right, I'm going to pull up, guys. I have to pull up the Hall of Fame finalist list. Of course, Hines didn't qualify this time, but once you see some of the names on this list, you're gonna be like, wow. 5 people. 5 people would be Smiles. Carrot doesn't even want to be in your team, bro. I got to promise you. If you believe me, if you didn't shower him with money, Smiles Carrots would be the fuck out of Cleveland. I promise you that. He says, don't badmouth Smiles. Let me pull up the list of the Hall of Fame finalists, guys. As we are, again, we're getting to that time. It is that time. It's New Year's Eve. I can't believe it. It's gonna be 2026 the next time everybody sees one another. I'm excited. And here we go. Let's get this pulled up. Just a quick interesting fact in the meantime, Phillip Rivers got benched. I don't know if any of these guys seen that. Phillip Rivers, Leonard Riley, whatever the fuck his name is, the rookie over in Indianapolis. He's getting the nod. Phillip Rivers did, in fact, get benched. All right, guys, this is what it looks like. This is the list of finalists. 5 of these people will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I'm going to start with Frank Gore. Frank Gore, come on. He could potentially be a Hall of Famer. Torrey Holt, the wide receiver. He's a finalist. Luke Kuechly, the linebacker, played for Carolina all those years. Terrell Suggs for the Baltimore fans in the house. Adam Vinatieri, the kicker. Frank Gore, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Terrell Suggs, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne, the of course the receiver for Indianapolis. Kevin Williams, the defensive tackle for Seattle and Minnesota. Jason Witten, the tight end for Cowboys all them years. Darren Woodson, the Cowboys safety. Marshall Yanda, guard tackle from Baltimore. Eli Manning. Willie Anderson, the tackle, played for Cincinnati all them years. Drew Brees. Come on, Drew Brees, guys. Jarheed Evans, a guard from the Packers and the Saints. Larry Fitzgerald. Guys, this is going to be a tough class to choose. 5 of those people. 5 of those people are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Good luck trying to pick the 5. What did I say? Kuechly. Oh, Kuechly. All right, my bad. But which 5 of them go? Eli? Come on, Eli beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. How can you not send Eli, right? Drew Brees, one of the best prolific passers ever. Look at his yards. Larry Fitzgerald's a shoo-in. Frank Gore, come on. Torrey Holt, Kuechly, Reggie Wayne, Vinatieri. I mean, so it's going to be, guys, that's a pretty impressive list. And again, they have to find 5. They have to figure out the top 5 to get in. And yes, Fitz being my favorite of the group, I hope, and I do think he will get in on his first ballot. Of course, right here from Pitt University, went on to have one of the best wide receiver careers in the NFL ever. Drew Brees is a lock, is what Estad is saying. Estad's also saying they're going to put 2 quarterbacks in? Question mark. I've always called him Kuechly. Maybe I've been saying it wrong for years. Sounds like, huh? Al Gore. Skiller Freak says Shara has a lisp and gets way too emotional when the Ravens drop an L. Skiller Freak says Bobby Baltimore has a 5 head. Spends all of his money on hair plugs. He don't have a 4 head. He has a 5 head. Let's see. Summer Vandy game is on right now. There are college games. Get into that today. Some football to get you through to New Year's Eve. Mink says this: why all the negativity about Bobby and Sarah? They are a cool podcast duo. Ravens fans, stay classy and don't do that to other YouTubers. All right, hey guys, I didn't say. Listen, I was just kind of caught off guard by the Bobby Baltimore, whatever his name was. The name. That's all. Guys, what else? It is that time. It is that time. It is New Year's Eve, guys. It is the 2-hour mark. We are going to get ready to start wrapping it up. The next segment is how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? That is the trivia part of the show. But before that, I do want to say, guys, do go check out our website. There's a lot of cool things over at www.the2dumyinzers.com. Mike does put a lot of work into it. He does get his dumb thoughts up over there. Also, there are links to every single one of our shows, all 880 plus over on the website. There's contact information. And if you like this logo to my left, there's a lot of sharp merchandise with that logo on. Go check it out at our website. It's www.the2dumyinzers.com and www.the2dumyinzers.com. Guys, how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? This week, the questions are about those Baltimore Ravens, the hated Ravens, the arch rival Ravens. It comes down to the playoffs. It's the playoffs. It really is. This week is the playoffs. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. We get 2 home playoff games in a row these next 2 weeks if we continue to win. Guys, let's do it. Today, question of the day. Put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board. Here we go. Question of the day. The Steelers have the most wins over Baltimore in their team history. We've seen that on the board earlier. Somebody had the numbers up there. But who has the second most wins over the Baltimore Ravens in the history of that grimy franchise? That's the question of the day. The Steelers have the most wins over the Ravens in their team's history. But who? Who's the team that has the second most wins against the Ravens in their team history? Throw your thoughts, guesses, answers up on the board, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and beyond every day right here on the tube. Richard is guessing New England. He's saying New England has the second most amount of wins in the against the Ravens. Tortilla saying, read the room, Minx. This is a Steeler cast. It is time for Frodo. S-Dad is saying, Somber also says, poor Eli might get snubbed. And wouldn't that be shitty? This dude literally beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. But you know what? He may get the snub. It's true. I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately. But you know what? You know what? Their family's awfully popular in the NFL. So we'll see. Cody says, this Bobby Baltimore name is hilarious. If you don't think that's funny, the pod is not worth my time. S-Dad says the Bengals is his guess. Minx says this, Steelers chatter. No, respect goes a long way, but yeah, y'all are rowdy and obnoxious at times. Have a great one. I'll check back in on Monday. In the meantime, get ready. Thank you for stopping by. Minx, I see, I'm having the hardest time seeing her picture. I always see that it's a female. But I'll stop by over to check out Minx. But I don't think Minx is actually on the show. I think she goes on the show in this capacity. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Leave me alone. I have to figure it out. But yes, Happy New Year's to you, Minx. Thank you for coming by, and we'll see you on Sunday night. Tortilla saying the Jets. Lindsay says, no respect here. Sorry. Also, get ready for some Steeler country, baby. That's right. Sunday night. It comes down to it all on the North Shore. Guys, I do I guess we are in the question of the day still, guys. Question of the day. The Steelers have the most wins over the Ravens all time with 37. That's right. Who has the second most amount of wins against the Ravens all time? Bunch of different answers on the board. Tortilla saying the Jets. AI Stad said that's an AI bot. The Minx, Cody says, yes, Ryan, we'll be there to check you out. Tortilla says, kind of gaslighting is that. Come on, here we're talking smack, then wondering why you're getting it back. Steeler Freak says that passive guilt trip won't work here, Minx. Somber said, there's the Lindsay we all know and love. Full Diddy. Tortilla says, I don't go to Ravens chat saying Pittsburgh going to win and then wonder why Ravens fans don't like me. All right, guys, question of the day. Here is the answer. The Steelers beat the Ravens more than anybody. Surprise, surprise. In the history of their squad. Which team beat them the second amount of times? The Steelers beat them 37 times in 30 years. The team that did it next, of course, is the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Ravens 27 times. So not only do we dominate the Ravens, the Bengals beat them 27 times in 30 years. That's got to be embarrassing, right? The Bengals? Come on. So that is the answer, guys. Cincinnati Bengals are the team that beat the Ravens the second most amount of times. The record, their all-time record, 33 wins, 27 losses against the Cincinnati Bengals, only 6 games better than the Bengals. Yes, it was Estad, division opponent. It is the Bengals. Ravens only 33 and 27 against them all time. 28, I'm sorry. 33 and 28 times. That's good. Only having a 5-game better record than the Ravens. The Bengals. Guys, I do want to say, if you haven't yet, do swing over and check out any of our any of our social media. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Guys, swing by, hit the follow button. Keep up with the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, hit the sub, share, even comment. It all helps us out on the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. I do want to say this as I do get ready to wrap it up. I do know that people are going to be having a good time tonight. They're going to be drinking. First and foremost, I do want to say stay safe, everybody. Be careful. But if you are going to go out and have some drinks, you might as well stop and grab yourself a case of the Duquesne Pilsner on your way home to finish and carry on the fun when you get home, because, guys, the guys and gals over at Duquesne Pilsner, they go out of their way to make sure they include us in a lot of their promotion. We want to say thank you to them and show them the gratitude. So I'm telling everybody and asking everybody, I'm just saying, guys, go and stop and grab some Duquesne Pilsner for your big night tonight. And even stay home and drink. Stay safe, guys. Don't even mess around with the driving and the weather and everything else. The other maniacs out there. Get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Stay home. Watch the ball drop. Made right here in Pittsburgh. And as it says on the can, grab a Duke. That's right, baby. Grab a Duke. Tyrone says, here we go. That's right, man. It's guys. And again, we will be back Friday. Regular show hours, regular show time on Friday. Nothing changes there. Just tomorrow, everybody is going to be probably sleeping in, I'm guessing, except for myself, because I fall asleep at 10 o'clock on New Year's. And it just plays out that way, unfortunately. But also, I do want to say, what else? What else do I want to say? I don't know. Sunday. Ravens at Steelers, 8:20. Last game of the season in the NFL. Steelers are 4.5-point home dogs. Ravens come to town with an 8-8 record. The Steelers coming into this game with a 9-7 record, guys. It's on like Donkey Kong. We know it. They know it. Everybody knows it. Everybody will be watching this game as it is the last game of the NFL season. Pittsburgh Penguins back at it tomorrow. Catch your Penguins at noon as they will be hosting the Detroit Red Wings. Penguins get the win last night over the Carolina Hurricanes. They win 5-1 and improve their record to 17-12-9 on the season. Again, the Penguins tomorrow on New Year's Day will be back in action, hosting again those Detroit Red Wings. Tomorrow, guys, CBS Pick'ems one last weekend. No games tomorrow in the NFL, but do make sure to get them CBS Pick'ems in. I'll bring it up again on Friday, but do make sure to get those in before the games start on Saturday. You don't want to miss out as we are heading into Week 18 of the CBS Pick'ems. Went really well this year. We will be announcing the big winners, the big winner, and other things with that next week, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys are such the backbone, the lifeblood of this show. Always keep things interesting here at the Two Dumb Yinzers. Thank you as well. And everybody at home, in the car, in the gym, at work, wherever you may be. I guess a lot of people home today, getting their weekend started early, leaving work early. I know Lindsay, she's ready to get out of there. She might already be, I think would she say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So guys, everybody, thank you too, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate every single one of you. I hope everybody has a safe holiday. I hope everybody, we see everybody back on Friday. No crazy shit, guys. Don't go out and do anything wild. Come back, be safe. That's all that matters at the end of the day, because we need every single one of you for Sunday night for the good juju. Get them jerseys, the towels out, and everything. I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody. Again, we'll be back on Friday at our regular time. Do it all over again, and again to get ready for this huge, basically playoff game coming Sunday night for the Steelers. Couple more messages as we do wrap it up. Estad, Happy New Year to you all. Go Steelers. Don't ruin 2026. New Year, same Tomlin. Tortilla saying on the board. Somber, my man, always great seeing you, brother. Lindsay says, yep, almost out of here. Awesome. I hope you have a great New Year's, Lindsay. Always great hearing from you, seeing you on the board. And that goes for everybody, guys. You do rock our world, and we appreciate every single moment of it. Thank you to everybody. We'll be back Friday. We'll be back Friday to get ready for this Ravens game. So, guys, again, be careful. Stay safe. Peace out, as Cody's saying on the board, my man. Guys, have a great New Year's. Again, if you need a ride tonight, call somebody. Walk if you have to. But stay safe. For Derpy, for Finch, for Mike and myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, I want to say thank you, guys. Everybody have a great holiday. Stay safe, and we'll see everyone on Friday to get ready for these Ratbirds. With that being said, guys, Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2026. Bye-bye.